How's everybody doing today? Today I just wanted to do a little video on data transfer. At this point, we've gone over Excel, we've gone over Access, most of you already know Word. Each of these programs has its strong points. For example, in Excel, mostly what we do is we deal with numbers. It's really good at crunching numbers, creating complex formulas, and it's also really good at creating graphs. Access, if you want to create queries, reports, sort data, just manipulate data in any fashion, it's an excellent program for that. And Word, we basically create documents. The thing I really want you to start thinking about in this assignment is how we can just move data around. Let's say we have an Access database, but we want to create some nice graphics. Now I can create graphics in Access, but it has kind of a clunky graphics package. So I could say, well, I'm just going to pop that data over into Excel and use the strength of Excel, which is creating graphics. Let's say I had a spreadsheet and I wanted to do a nice formatted report on my spreadsheet data. Well, again, Excel's not that good at reporting out data, but Access is. So I could just take my Excel spreadsheet, pop it into Access. I can take any of these, put them into Word as a text document. So what we're going to be talking about is just how we can move data around. And again, the reason it's so important to be able to do this is it allows you to use the strengths of each software package. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to start with this payroll file, and this is available to you on download. I'm going to open it up, and it just has one table. Okay, it's a people table, and it's got 84 records. What I'd like to do first is just save this as a text file. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to external data, and Access makes it really easy to move data around. I can bring data in from Excel. I can bring data in from another Access file, from a text file. If I want to save out data, export it to Excel, export it to a text file, export it to a PDF. I can do all that. Like I said, the first thing I want to do is just create a text file from this table. So I'm going to say, okay, I want to create a text file, and it asks me where I want it. I want mine to be on my desktop. So I say I'm going to save it. It's going to call it people.txt. So I say, okay. And what it does is it allows me two choices. Your two types of text files that are very standard are delimited or fixed width. Delimited just means there is a certain character that delineates the end of one field and the beginning of another. In our case, Access uses a comma, and this is a very common format to use. In this particular instance, you can see it takes all the text fields and it puts them in quotes. Numeric fields are not in quotes, and each field has a comma between them. I could also go with fixed width. I don't like fixed width as much. What it does is it assigns a fixed width to each field, and it just saves it that way. I tend to typically use delimited. I just like it better. So I choose the one I want, delimited. I say next, and it says, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate this out with a comma, and the text qualifier is a colon, meaning it's going to put, not the colon, the quote. So it's going to put the quote around any text values. I don't have to use a comma. I mean, I could use a semicolon and a tab, or I could even specify other and put in my own delimiter. But I tend to like to make it as standard as possible, and this is one of the most standard text files you'll find. So I say, okay, next. It says, well, I'm just going to save this thing. It's going to be called people.txt. I say finish, and it goes ahead and it saves it. So now I'm going to go look for this, and I do find it. It's right here, people. If I bring it up, it's basically just a text file. It did exactly what it said it was going to do. The next thing I want to do is take this same data and save it as an Excel file. So I'm going to click on Excel. It says it's going to save it to desktop. It's going to be called people.xlsx. So I say OK. I hit close. I go down here and find it, and it's an Excel file. I can bring it up, and the nice thing about this is it's a real Excel file, meaning all the things I can do in Excel. For example, if I wanted to figure out the average age, this column represents age. I'm going to put in a formula. I put in formula C2 through C85 and equal sign average, and I get 28.64 is my average age. So anything that I can do in a normal Excel file, I can do with this, even though it used to be a database. If I wanted to create some graphics, I could create some graphics. Here I'm going to do a real simple graph. I just highlighted a block of data here, and I'm going to say insert. I'll do a column chart. So again, this is real simple, but it's got a column chart representing their age, their pay, their bonus, and I've got legends so I can tell who's who. So I know the green is Arthur Benware, etc. Alright, let's say now we wanted to try to go a different way. Now I want to say, well, I've got a text file and I want to bring it into Excel. So here's my text file. It's called people. I'm just going to open up a new Excel file. So now I've got a new Excel file. And what I'm going to do in Excel, if you click on data, it says, all right, I can get it from Access, from web, from text. So I'm going to say, I want to bring this in from a text file. And then I just browse to where it is. Here we are, people. I say import. And it's going to go through a little process to make sure it is correctly determining what I want. It says this is delimited, so it figured out it was delimited. If I had saved this as a fixed width, it probably would have figured out it was fixed width. So I say, yep, that's correct. I hit next. It says the delimiter is a tab and the text qualifier is a colon. Well, it's actually wrong on this one. It's not a tab. The delimiter is a comma. So I'm going to fix that. It's not a tab. I hit next. Column is all general. I hit finish. I want to bring it into cell A1. I hit OK. And again, it brings it in. So here I was able to take a text file and bring it in. And again, I can do graphs. I can do, formulas, whatever I want to do. All right, now I'm going to try to bring something into Access. So when this is just a brand new database. So what I'm going to do, brand new database, nothing in it. I go to external data, and what I want to do is I want to bring this data in from Excel. So remember, if I'm bringing data in, I can bring it in from Excel, from Access, from text. I'm going to bring it in from Excel, and again I have to browse to where this is. I find my people Excel file. I hit open. It's going to go through a process. I say OK. It's pretty much figured out this is what I want. So I say next. I say next. I don't want a primary key. I say next. Just going to call it people, and it just brings it in. So now I've got this table that was previously a spreadsheet. Now it's a database. Let's see if I can bring one in from the actual text file. So I'm going to close this one out. I'm actually going to delete this one just for now. And I'm going to try to bring it in from a text file. Again, I'll browse, and I'm going to find my text file. Here's my text file. Hit open. Hit OK. And figured out it's delimited. Now, when I bring it in from the text file, since the text file only has data, we are going to have to specify the field names. Let me show you what I mean. If I hit next, it figures out, okay, it's separated by a comma. The text qualifier is a quote. I hit next, and it says, all right, well, what do you want to call this? Field 1, field 2. Well, I want to call this one Field 1 I want to call first name, field 2 I want to call last name, etc. So what I do is I just type out the name, I click on the next one, I type out the name of the field, I click on the next one, and I type in the last one. Remember in this one we had first name, last name, age, pay, and bonus. I hit next. Again, I don't want a primary key. I hit next. I hit finish. And so now I've successfully brought in a text file into Access. So you can pretty much go whichever way you need to. I mean, I can take a database and port it out to text or port it out to Excel. In Excel I can bring in a database or I can bring in text. In Word, you know, it's pretty easy to bring in any of these things. For example, in Word, if I want to bring in for example, a spreadsheet, typically, I mean, there's other ways to do this, but most of the time, I'll just copy and paste. So I'm in a spreadsheet, I copy it, I'm in a Word document, I paste it, and I'm pretty much good to go. So that's really easy. Anyhow, hopefully, what this showed you is it's really easy to move data around. So if you need to move it from one application to another, it's not a real hard thing to do. In this upcoming assignment, what I ask you to do is just that. You're going to start with a text file, move it to Excel, use some of the strengths of Excel, move that to a database on Access file, use some of the strengths of Access, and pretty much put the whole thing together. Anyhow, hopefully this video was helpful. We will see you next time.